Uncle Bill here with DeadPit Radio, and tonight we're going to be reviewing a cult classic from Kino Lorber. This is 1977's Kingdom of the Spiders. So, star date 1977. William Shatner is having a tough time getting roles. Maybe not as much the later on, because later on would be the Star Trek movies and other TV shows and things like that. But at this point in time, Star Trek really isn't like what we know Star Trek now as like a legendary show. It's just more of like a science fiction show that was on for a brief period of time. And Shatner is starring in a bunch of low budget productions around this time, one of them being Kingdom of the Spiders. Now, the funny thing about that is Kingdom of the Spiders is actually an excellent science fiction animal attack movie, with some pretty over the top acting, but I don't know what do you expect, but in a good way. It's not like Star Trek over the top acting. It's more like scenery chewing machismo kind of over the top acting. So Shatner plays Dr. Hansen, who's a veterinarian in Arizona, and a bunch of weird things have been happening in this local town. Like cattle have been getting murdered, and nobody really knows what's going on. So they call in uh, kind of like a animal specialist, goes by the name of Diane, and she's played by a veteran character actor that I had no idea about, Tiffany Bowling, who's absolutely just beautiful and probably one of the most beautiful women I've seen from this time period of the '70s. And anyway, um, her theory is that these animals have been killed by spiders, arachnids, if you will, and she thinks that pesticides are destroying all of the spiders' natural food, and they're ganging up together and attacking larger animals like cows and bulls and things like that, and eventually human beings in what would be the one of the most epic showdowns of spider versus man action that you'll see. It's this little community. So there's a couple of other, you know, side characters that are in the film, and a couple of them, especially this elderly couple that finds their way into the town, are cocooned up in this spider web and kind of like eaten alive. And that's a pretty cool effect because they've got they got the makeup on, the gaunt makeup and everything, but they're also completely encased and mummified in like these spider webs, which is really neat. There has to be thousands of these tarantulas, that are real tarantulas, and you can kind of tell through some of this that like a couple of them accidentally get like stepped on. Like, I mean, I just don't know how you would make a movie like this using that many live tarantulas. But they said there were some like rubber ones too, I guess, to make it look bigger and everything. But $50,000 of this film's budget was spent on getting tarantulas. So there's a ton of them. And you can see them trying to scatter to get out of the way and things like that. And people are accidentally like stepping on them and because they're trying to act. And like in a couple of scenes Shatner's covered with them and he's just like slogging his way around, like trying to act like they're killing him or something. And you can just see him like trying to just get out of the way. That's all they're really trying to do. And there's a great showdown at the end of this movie, where all the spiders begin assaulting all the residents of the town. And the doctor, played by Shatner, is trying to get everybody out. And they all kind of get together in this lodge. And somehow or another, like in a slasher movie, the spiders kind of knock out the power. And then they kind of move in and attack the lodge. And everybody barricades themselves inside finally, and a couple of people are taken out here and there. And then it's cool because the spiders start coming down like the chimney. They're coming in the walls, like they're coming out of the vents, like anywhere that they can come. And they're really landing on, they're real spiders landing on all these actors. And you can tell like several of the actors are not thrilled with it. But this is the way that films were kind of done back in that time period, very practically done. Probably, I won't give it away, but in probably the best scene in the entire movie, Shatner and everybody comes out of the lodge and looks around, and it's like a Planet of the Apes kind of ending. I'll just say that. And it's great. I love movies like this. I can't help it. Like they're super fun, entertaining. Nobody in this movie is taking it seriously, with the exception of maybe the female lead. Like Shatner is definitely not taking it seriously. He's playing like supposed to be like a cowboy-esque kind of veterinarian who's just constantly hitting on women and just like a womanizer. It's such an odd like role for him to play, but he does a great job in it. And the spiders are everywhere, and you can 100% tell that they're not really trying to hurt anybody. They're just trying to get the hell away from everything, and they're scared to death. But like, thus was movies in the 70s. Kino put this out as a part of their Kino cult line, which is probably one of my favorite lines of movies right now. Like everything I've watched from this in the past couple months, I've enjoyed. This particular version has an audio commentary by film critic Lee Gambon, audio commentary by the director, producer, Spider Wrangler, cinematographer, and Scott Spiegel. Audio commentary by the producer and actress Tiffany Bowling also. Interview with actress Tiffany Bowling, which I watched just to kind of see like where did she come from and what happened to her. But yeah, an interview with writer Steve Lodge. It's a 97-minute long movie. It's a great watch, especially if you're into these kind of silly, camp movies from the 70s. And I definitely am. Kino Lorber's got this out. If you want to go to kinolorber.com, if you want to, I'm sure you can buy this anywhere, and I highly recommend you buy this along with Food of the Gods. Their set of titles right now in this Kino cult line are some of the most standout titles. Great transfers, great special features, great picks for these movies too. So check out 1977's Kingdom of the Spiders, and check us out over at deadpit.com.
I'd like to tell people to thumbs up the video, Uncle Bill.
Would you?
Yes. Thumbs it up with violence and fury, and just love everything about it.
You hit the heart button, then you hit the ass button, then you hit the go fuck yourself button. Follow that up with the I don't give a shit button.
There's all kinds of wonderful shirts over at shop.deadpit.com. Simply the best horror shirts. On TeePublic, there are others, but they all suck. You can get some DEADPIT Radio shirts. You can get Last South on the Left. The Hills Have Eyes. Texas Chainsaw. Oh, wait, you can't say Texas Chainsaw. All kinds of shirts, folks. You're gonna love them. Shop.deadpit.com.
Special thanks goes out to our supporters on Patreon. Do you know what kind of stuff you can get on Patreon, Uncle Bill, starting at only $1 a month?
What's that?
Access to every Dead Pit show since 2005. We got almost 200 fan commentaries that we've done over the decades.
We have a literal jukebox full of songs and thousands of reviews. I don't even know how many shows are up on there now that we've done over the years.
Hundreds of thousands.
You need to figure this out now and subscribe to us on Patreon and YouTube and Instagram and help us to 1 million. The road to 1 million subscribers starts today.
So deadpitonpatreon.com. Join today. Tiers start at only $1, but I'd recommend at least the $10 tier.
You can do 50. The stock market's crashing around us, folks, but send us money.